on January 28, 1944, pilots were briefed for the first test missions. Briefing and interrogation sessions such as this were held before and after each of the 400-odd missions flown in the course of the program. Targets for the first phase were A, the camouflage dummy site in wooded terrain; B, the uncamouflaged dummy site in open terrain; and C, the camouflaged permanent concrete replica of the actual installation. As a result of these tests, the aerial camera reveals that although it is possible for the enemy to build camouflaged dummy ski installations that cannot be distinguished from the real sites, nevertheless, through the use of existing photographic techniques, positive identification of all sites, whether dummy or real, can be made. It also shows that low oblique reconnaissance photos are of tremendous value in briefing pilots for minimum altitude or glide attacks. This low oblique picture of the Q building of target C is a good example. During this phase of the testing, we also learned that when flying at an altitude of 5,000 feet or more, or in a 25-degree dive starting above 2,000 feet, against a camouflaged target in heavily wooded terrain, it is possible to identify the target and make course corrections in time for an effective attack. However, when attacking a camouflaged target in this kind of cover at minimum altitude, it is impossible to recognize the ski site in time to make the necessary course corrections before the release point is reached. While the location and identification missions were still being flown, bombing crews were already taking off against the heavy concrete installations of targets C, D, and E. Below them in the target area, qualified observers computed the probability of anti-aircraft hits against the attacking airplanes. First came B-17s, flying at high altitude, dropping full loads of 500-pound general-purpose bombs. The heavy bombers were followed by B-26s at medium altitude, their bays loaded with the same type of bombs. More B-26s, this time attacking at minimum altitude, at 200 miles an hour, now delivering 2,000-pound general-purpose bombs, while the slow-motion camera analyzed the results. Next came a series of tests with fighter bombers executing minimum altitude and glide attacks. P-47s carrying 1,000-pound semi-armor-piercing bombs, attacking at a 10-degree glide. P-38s traveling 300 miles an hour at a 25-degree glide and packing 2,000-pound general-purpose bombs under each wing. More Lightnings traveling at 300 miles an hour, this time attacking at minimum altitude, but again carrying 2,000-pound general-purpose bombs. Analysis of the results of these tests reveals several important findings. High and medium-level bombing attacks against ski installations, while favored by a maximum invulnerability to anti-aircraft fire, achieve a minimum number of direct hits. Glide and dive attacks, while incurring a comparatively high degree of vulnerability to anti-aircraft, achieve satisfactory results in the number of direct hits. In the minimum altitude attack tests, slower types of aircraft, such as the B-26, incurred a maximum vulnerability to anti-aircraft. P-38s traveling 100 miles an hour faster, while sacrificing a slight degree of accuracy in hitting the target, were least vulnerable of all to anti-aircraft fire. The P-38 on low-level bombing attacks by fighter-type airplanes proved to be approximately twice as efficient as the P-47, in which downward visibility was limited because of the long nose. However, it was learned that P-47s can attack crossbow targets with effective results by approaching on the deck at 300 miles an hour, pulling up to 100 feet when approximately a mile from the objective, and completing the run as if in a strafing attack. Meanwhile, a major test of visibility was being prepared over on Target C, around which a chemical warfare smoke company had been deployed. This company, supplied with 24 generators, was able to cover the entire target area in approximately 5 minutes, aided by a wind velocity of 3 to 8 miles per hour. Where the target smoked, simulated bombing runs were attempted unsuccessfully, leading to the conclusion that only high and medium altitude level pattern bombing was feasible under these conditions. Finally, after the smoke cleared away, a test was conducted with the object of determining the most effective method of removing the camouflage from the target. A flight of heavy bombers, each carrying 12 500-pound M18 incendiary clusters, was dispatched over the target area. The resulting fires burned away all natural ground cover from the target area, but the overhead camouflage itself did not burn.